Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. The idea of passive income really is alluring. Who doesn't want to just sit back and wait for a check to roll in or simply watch their bank account balance go up? That would be the best, right? I don't know about you, but my YouTube feed occasionally recommends passive income videos where I'll read the headline and it says you can make an additional $200 a day. If you run the numbers, that would translate to an additional $73,000 a year. Score, right? Or I'll read an article that says you can make an additional $1,000 or $2,000 a month. That would be an additional $12,000 to $24,000 in a year. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, I would take it. I'd probably just save or invest it, but I would take it. Who wouldn't? So why are so many of us going to work Monday through Friday when instead we could just stack up a whole bunch of passive income streams and then literally do anything else with our time? Visit family and friends, our neighborhood hotspots, or travel, or just literally anything else. Well, it's because the idea of passive income is a lie, or most of the time it is. Only in rare circumstances is passive income truly passive. So I'm sitting at a desk today, which is not my normal spot because I have my laptop pulled up. I have the most common passive income ideas. I'm gonna use it as a cheat sheet throughout the video, and I'm gonna group some of these. They're in the same genre or they tend to overlap. So let's get into it. The first one is to create a course or write an ebook. So this one takes a little bit of time and commitment up front when you're writing the book or creating the product, but then the idea is that you list it online and kick back and wait for the sales to pour in. And yeah, in a way this one is passive, but there is one hiccup. You have to have an audience to market your product to. If you don't have an audience to tell about your product or your book, you're probably not gonna have a massive number of sales. What are the odds that someone just stumbles across your webpage? Or that tens of thousands of people stumble across your book on Amazon and it becomes a bestseller? It could, anything's possible, but it's probably not all that likely. So for most people, this is not gonna be a path to significant passive income. Without a built-in audience, you have to dedicate significant resources, time, money, or both to marketing your product, whatever it is, for the chance for it to have potential significant sales. So as far as passive, I'll vote yes, with a caveat here. I don't think it's readily accessible to most, and I think there's high barriers to entry. Also on this list and in this genre, I see create an app. And again, if your app sells well, then yes, you will have passive income rolling your way. But it's important to note that if you don't know how to create an app, apps are very expensive to make. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for a complex app. So it's a significant cash outlay, but then again, you have the problem of marketing. You have to get your app known. There are something like 3.6 million apps in the Apple App Store. So you better have an audience or a hefty marketing plan. Next, this one kind of jumps out, rent out a parking space. Now this one is kind of situation specific. You have to have a spare parking space and you have to be in an area where people want it. I'm from the country. We don't even have parking meters in my hometown. You can park wherever the heck you want. We have space. When we've lived in cities, if you're renting an apartment, usually it comes with one space and you have the option to pay for an additional space, or there are more congested cities where you have to pay for that first space. If you're paying for a parking spot, you probably have a car and thus need a spot to park your car. So again, this would be passive if you have an extra spot available, but I think it's very specific to people's situations. Next, we have rent out your home short term. And this one I say kind of, you have to have some place to live. I mean, theoretically, you could rent it out if you went on vacation. And when you're on vacation, you're probably spending some extra money. So maybe renting out your home could provide some additional income to pay for that vacation. Or maybe if you have a summer home and a winter home, you could rent out the respective one when you're not living in it. That could provide some additional income, but I still stand by the fact that you need some place to live. You know what? While we're on this one, let's add in Airbnb and Vrbo, because I do think they're a great way to make some additional income, whether you're renting out a space in your home or an additional property. But I don't know if I would consider them passive because you have to clean up after your guests and that takes time and effort. And the more popular your rental, the more guests you have, the more time you have to dedicate to cleaning, repairing, and restocking your Airbnb or your Vrbo rental. Of course, you could hire a management company. They take a percentage, but then they also take care of the property. And then in that way, the income does become more passive to you. You just have more of a management or an oversight role. You probably just have to handle occasional phone calls and occasional scheduling. In the same vein, we could talk about having rental properties. And listen, I think rental properties are an amazing way to make money. But a lot of times I don't look at them as passive. I guarantee you that most landlords have horror stories of tenants who accidentally or deliberately damaged their property or failed to make rent payments. My dad actually had a tenant burn down one of his rental properties. I worked for a boss right after college and he had 8 rental homes. He told me about one time where he had a tenant who wasn't making their payments, so he had to get lawyers and the police involved for an eviction. And then once they were out, he found that they never used a trash service for 2 years. They threw 2 years worth of trash in the garage and he had to deal with that. On the other hand, when you have great renters, your life is much easier, but you're still on call 24/7 because repairs and maintenance have to happen. Of course, you can still get a management company involved. They take a fee and they do make your role more passive. Now, make no mistake about it. In no way am I trying to bash rentals. I think rental properties are an amazing opportunity to make money and build wealth, but I just don't look at it as passive. It does require work. So in a way, I look at it as taking on a part-time job. And the more and more rentals you get, the more it works its way to being a full-time job. And you also have to keep in mind that you have to have significant funds to make the down payment to buy rental properties. Next, create a blog or a YouTube channel. What? Heck no. Who made this list? YouTube is not passive. Guys, at best, this is a part-time job. First, you have to come up with ideas for videos, many of which require a significant amount of research, which takes a ton of time. Then you have to work on an outline of what you want to say in a video and make sure you hit all the points you want to hit. Then you have filming, which isn't seamless either. Hello, have you seen my bloopers? It's at least not seamless for me. And then you have editing. Oh my gosh, the hours and hours of editing. Sometimes my eyes just burn from staring at the computer screen. And even then, you're not done. Once you post it, you have to read and reply to comments. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate them. You have to go through and delete spam comments. I don't have a WhatsApp account. I will never ask you to contact me like that. Or if people advertise an advisor and say that you can make $17,000 a week profit from a $4,000 investment, that's spam. Don't click on it. I just wish these spam comments will stop, but they are going to be the death of me at some point. But all of this is to say it's not passive. It does require work. It is a lot of fun and I love this community, but it is hours and hours of work. In the same genre here, I see that they list affiliate marketing and sponsored content. Yes, these are legit. Once you have an audience, you can absolutely do these and the income you earn is pretty darn passive. You might notice that I don't do a lot of sponsored content on this channel. In fact, in the entire 2.5 years I've had this channel, I've only worked with 2 sponsors. I think my last sponsored video was back in April or May of this year. See, I kind of have a complex relationship with this. I'd only work with a brand if I actually used their product or service, and I'm all about saving and investing, and I want you to be all about the same thing, so it feels kind of hypocritical to ask you to spend money. But I would only work with a brand or do sponsored content if I actually saw it as ethical. And to me, ethical would be a product that I use or a service that I use and I actually spend my own money on. The next options looks like we've moved on to investments. They have REITs or real estate investment trusts, create a bond ladder, or open a high yield savings account. And while we're here, it doesn't show up on this list, but I know it shows up on other lists and we're gonna add it, dividends and dividend paying stocks. I think REITs are great. I personally own a couple, and I think bonds and high yield savings accounts are a great place to store extra cash, but keep in mind that their interest rates are still fairly low. High yield savings accounts are paying around 2% or so, and T-bills are in the 3 to 4% range, and I-bonds were at 9%, but will be dropping to 6% in November. And these are indeed passive. Let's say you have $10,000 and you have it in a high yield savings account. Over the course of a year, you could get $200 with a 2% interest rate, or with T-bills and a 4% interest rate, you could get $400. Over the course of a year. Yes, I do think these are a great place to keep excess cash, but getting a couple $100s over the course of a year is very different than what these videos and articles are advertising, getting that amount per day. And as far as dividends, dividends are a great source of passive income. The only caveat worth mentioning here is that you have to have a significant amount invested. For instance, the average dividend for stocks in the S&P 500 runs about 1.8%. Which means that if you have $10,000 invested, you would get about $180 over the course of an entire year. Of course, you could go after high dividend stocks. A current one is Heinz. And if you know me, you know I love ketchup, so I would do a sponsorship with them in a heartbeat. But their current dividend yield is 4.44%. But again, a $10,000 investment over the course of a year would net you $444 or $37 per month. So not a wild amount. If you wanted a true income, say something like $40,000 in dividends from the world's best ketchup company, you would have to have about $900,000 invested. So dividends are absolutely passive. It's just that they require a significant amount of cash already. In a lot of ways, investing is the real category of passive income. That's the whole goal of investing. You put away small amounts consistently over many years or many decades, and you build up enough of a nest egg that it provides an income that you can live on. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes many, many years, many decades, and there's lots of ups and downs along the way. There are a few others on this list, like flipping retail products. That one would require time. You have to go buy products at a discount and then find a secondary market to sell them in. I feel like the spread would have to be pretty big in order to make this worthwhile. They also have listed that you could rent out household products. I mean, this would probably mean things like a lawnmower or a leaf blower. Inevitably, I think that would lead to your products needing more maintenance, but sure, it could work. I think I've made it through most of the items on this list. I don't think I hit every single one, but I'm close. Ultimately, I think the idea of passive income will always make headlines because who doesn't want to make money with little to no effort or make money while they sleep? But most people work a job for a reason because most passive income streams really aren't all that passive, or most passive income streams don't generate enough income that you can actually justify quitting your job. I think passive income is great. Build up passive income streams wherever you can. It makes it so you aren't so reliant on your paycheck. But for most people, I think investing consistently and over the long term is the most realistic and most reliable route to a passive income stream. Do you guys have passive income streams? Let me know in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.